Yesterday, I made a short talking about the reasons why you should ghost someone. So today video is going to be about why you were ghosted. Number one, the reason why you were ghosted is because you're crazy. You get loud, you get ratchet, you start using curse words, and sometimes your ass get physical. That person cannot take the risk of being assaulted by you verbally or physically because they decided they no longer want to be in a platonic or romantic relationship with you. So number two is you are emotionally manipulative. So basically, when this person comes around you to end everything, you start begging them, you start telling them how much you need them in your life, right? And when someone starts to do those type of things, the person that's trying to end things will really start feeling guilty, especially if you start crying. Myself, I don't want to see nobody crying. And to be honest, I've had men tell me this plenty of times. Please don't cry, Ryan. Please don't. Because most men don't want to see you cry either. So when you start using them tears, even if you're not really trying to use the tears to make the person stay, it's just those tears, they really work on people. So they figured out, talking to you is not going to work because you know how to lay it on them thick. You know how to start crying. You know how to start begging. You know how to just really get your way at the end of it. And so they decided, I have to ghost this person. Number three, they was not into you. Now that one kind of stings a bit because who wants to hear that the person didn't like them, right? Sometimes I know myself, it's almost like I'd rather me did something to you to make you not like me than for you to wake up one day and realize I'm just not into her. But it does happen. People do ghost because they don't like you enough. Now, the way you could look at this as being a somewhat good thing is saying, if they were to tell you that they're not into you, what was you going to do with that information? Was you going to start begging them? Was you going to start chasing them? Was you going to change yourself around to be with them? The last one, number four, is they know they ain't shit. Okay? There are some people in this world, and I would say including myself because I'm part of this part, that I know when I'm not right. I know when I'm wasting a person's time. And the best thing for me to do is just probably walk away. This one kind of coincides with number three because this person is like they like you enough. They like you enough to not waste your time. But at the same time, they not telling you. They just going to ghost you, right? And it's like I said just recently that me telling this person telling you that they no longer want to be in association with you, what is that going to really do? Right? So what benefit does that have to you? Right? Now, back to this person being messy or just, being a hot mess. Them telling you this, right? You may turn around and start begging, pleading, explaining yourself, giving the reasons why they should stick with you. And see, they are mature enough to say to themselves, I know I ain't shit. I know I ain't gonna be shit. Let me just walk away. Because if I stay, I know I'm gonna drag this person down. I know I'm not gonna treat them like how they should be treated. So it's just best if I walk away. I don't want them trying to change for me. I don't want any of the extras. I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave and set this person free because if I stay, I'm just gonna cause drama and havoc in their life. So I'm gonna tell you guys some quick stories of moments where I myself has been ghosted, right? So the first one was I went on a date with this dude. And I'll tell you the truth, we met on Instagram. Now, he was really attractive. And that was the whole reason why I wanted to go out with him. Sometimes I could be very shallow, where I'm just going out with you because you're cute, because you handsome. Now, of course, they're going to, treat me out and treat me like a lady. But I'm not going to perpetrate and act like every man I meet, I'm thinking to myself, oh, my God, this could be my husband. He could be the one. So with this guy, we met on Instagram and we didn't even need to exchange phone numbers because, Instagram, you could talk on the phone, all that. So we go on this date and the date was all right. It wasn't the best date, but when I got there, I just realized men is so opposite from each other. Like, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but he was cute. You know, that's what I get from always, oh, he fine, he handsome, oh. So anyway, he treats me on the date, but our conversation was just, ugh. You know, this fool started talking about his ex. And one thing about me, if you start talking about your ex, if you thinking about her, you still want her. So when the date ended, you know, he got in his car, I got in my car, I went on about my way. However, I do sometimes have a big ego that sometimes get me in trouble. So as I'm driving home, I'm like, I hope this dude do not call me because I ain't really interested in him, right? But when I got home, I'm like, okay, he ain't called me to make sure I got home? Like, what kind of shit is that? So I don't call him, I don't text him, I don't do anything. But I'm waiting for this phone call. And I mean, I'm really waiting, y'all. The next morning come, no phone call. So I'm like, what the? And what I mean phone call is through the Instagram and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? He really didn't contact me? But mind you, I already said that, you know, it's no purpose of us talking no more, right? But my ego is in it. I want him to do a little chasing after me a little bit. So as you can see, he's not calling me. And so I get on Instagram and I remove him off my Instagram. However, I'm going to keep it real. I was actually hurt by this, y'all. Now, like I said, I wasn't crying in the corner, but I was really hurt. I mean, he shot my ego down. And, you know, that's one of my stories of me being ghosted. Some people may say, Ryan, you know, that's nothing. But you'd be surprised how many people complain about situations like that, being ghosted, where whether it was y'all together for a year or not, you know in your heart when that person is not for you. You really do know that. Here's another time I was ghosted, and this one you could say I was the messy person, right? So it was this dude I was talking to, very handsome, and you know, we were setting up a date, and it was something that I lied about, but the lie was a part of his deal breakers. And I lied. And when I lied, I said to myself, I know God gonna protect this dude. Watch, we ain't gonna go out. So me and the guy, we kept talking. I think we talked for like 3 to 4 days. And he asked me another question, and I knew I lied, right? So me knowing this, I'm already knowing that the universe is about to start working for this dude. Some of you may be wondering, what do you mean, Ryan, the universe is going to start working for him? God, the universe, whoever you want to believe in, is going to start working in his favor, because I know I'm lying about something that he is considering to be a deal breaker. So one day he calls me, he's all like, you know, we planned a date or whatever, but we didn't really officially set the time or whatever. We just kind of was just, you know, scoping out what I want to do, things of that nature. So he's all like, all right, Ryan, I'm going to give you a call back. Y'all think he called me? No. Now, with that situation, I was kind of happy he didn't call me, because I knew that deep down inside, I wasn't shit, right? So technically, he ghosted me, right? However, I could accept the ghost because I knew that I was lying. You know what I mean? So with that story and with the other story, I'm just letting you guys know, like, I've been ghosted before and it does hurt. However, I can also admit to moments where I ain't shit, and how the ghost really isn't supposed to hurt me. It's supposed to free me. So to close out, you know, like I said, being ghosted, it does suck. It can be hurtful. But if you're an honest person with yourself, I remember my sister, me and her was talking about the term ghosting. And one thing she said, nobody really gets ghosted, Ryan. Like, if you actually think about it, especially if you're in like a real romantic relationship with somebody, or you having a platonic friendship with someone and y'all been friends for a while, she had said there's always signs to it. Right? And when I sit back and I think of my friends telling me stories of them being ghosted, my little 2 stories of myself being ghosted, there was a sign there, right? There was some type of sign. You may felt like that sign was so small you could ignore it, but the sign was there. You know what I mean? And another sin that she taught me, and I'll never forget, because I see it often now, but when I didn't know the saying, I never really seen it. It's rejection is God's protection. And that's some real stuff, for real. I mean, a lot of times when we are rejected as human beings, it can be very hurtful, but that's how you build resilience in yourself sometimes from rejection. You know, when I was really younger, if a man told me no, my world ended. Now, as I got older and life changed in life, you know, a man telling me no and me knowing how to contain myself, that eventually makes them say yes. So knowing how to handle rejection, that's going to strengthen you throughout life and make you so much of a better person. Besides, you know, wallowing in your pain about being rejected. And like I said, even from my point of view of knowing that there's been times that I'm looking at a man lying to him about a deal breaker, knowing damn well I'm lying. And guess what? He ghosts my ass. Which was what? Look it. That was rejection, protection for both of us, because there was no real end game. You know what I mean? So if you ever been ghosted before, just think to yourself, or if you've been ghosted and it's really impacting you, really sit back and think, did this person really like me? Did I really like this person? Can I see that this person is going to eventually bring me some drama in the future that I don't need? Can I see that this person is going to change me in a way that is not healthy? You know? Because, I mean, look, I've even ghosted jobs before. Not when I'm working with them, though. Maybe through an interview process. But it happens. So, remember, rejection is God protection.